Rob, disappointing day at the office, as I say.
Yeah, it's getting a bit frustrating. There is a little bit of frustration between the coaching staff and the players, I think, which is good. Start of the season again. You've sometimes got to keep revisiting where we are first season in the Premiership, and a losing bonus point away from home isn't the end of the world. That said, we targeted a win here, but we target wins everywhere we go, and we've come up short. And I think the disappointing thing is that at 19-all we should have pushed on, and we should have made the pressure that Leeds are undoubtedly under really tell for us. But we didn't. We made some basic errors then, as we kind of did through the game, and it was those kind of dumb errors that have really cost us the points today. That's what's disappointing. Again, the physical endeavour's there. The boys went down to scores, and we always bounced back. We always looked good. We always looked strong. We always looked like we wanted to play. Sometimes we overplayed. Sometimes we pushed things a little bit too hard. Gave up the odd soft penalty, made a bad poor decision, and that's what's cost us the game. It's not been our physical endeavour. It's just been our kind of mental sharpness, perhaps.
You always knew that Leeds were going to come out there fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table, and they brought that to the party. I think
that's probably the disappointing thing. And I don't want to take anything away from Leeds. That wasn't really the deciding factor of the game for me. And I can only talk about us. And some of the things we did today were not the kind of things we practiced, and not the kind of things we talked about pre-game. And that's all I can say really. If I say any more, it's kind of taking it away from Leeds, and Leeds have performed well in a pressure game for them, and ultimately when it was 19-all they played better than we did, and there you go, that's the game.
As a coach, you'll sit down on Monday, review it, probably on the way home as well, have a real good look at it, and it'll probably turn out to be a bit of a video nasty for you, but it'll give you something to work with for next week. In
some ways, but again, it's like I said, it's not about ripping everything up and getting too carried away, and it's not about any knee-jerk reactions. You will lose games in the Premiership, particularly in your first season, and while your players are learning to win, and particularly away from home. That shouldn't be a shock to anybody. But I think what we have to do is we'll address, maybe just each of the situations where we made poor decisions, or where we coughed at the ball, and what those errors cost us. And we just got to mentally just sharpen up and refocus a little bit. Our physical endeavour has never dropped away, but I think mentally, that real edge you get when you're absolutely desperate to perform at an absolute 100%. That's what we've got to really challenge the players about, make sure that that's there every single time we play, because this end of the season is very important to us about how we develop for next year.
Bath next week is another tough hurdle to overcome, but it's a chance for you to put things right.
Yeah, it is, and again, I know we'll go out there and we'll massively and physically up for the game. What we've got to make sure is that our real key mental decisions are very good, and we're very sharp. And as I say, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about learning from everything we do. And there's some things we've got to learn from today. There's some things we had to learn from last week. There's plenty of things you learn every time you win as well. And we've just got to keep moving forward. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for the players and the coaches, but on another day, a bit more experience. Hopefully, having reviewed what it is today, we won't make the same mistakes again.
That's right.